Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Factorio C-Block. This is episode number 24. Today, we're going to continue working on our circuit area, which is down here. We've been working on the last couple episodes, I guess. We've got the first two of these circuits done right there, and some of the other stuff, like the carbon and the components. We're going to continue working on that to fill in the rest of the circuit stuff. But first, we need to come back here to our metal area. And we need to create some infrastructure to create ores, mostly for some catalyst frame things, which are being used right here. You can see here's one that uses iron ore and copper ore, and this one, the green one, which uses silver and aluminum. We need to create ores for those, and we also need a little bit of iron ore for ferric chloride solution, which is needed mostly for circuits and a little bit for science. I think of the last science we're going to do might need a little bit. And so what we're going to do, pretty simple. We're going to come up here and we're going to copy the different layouts for the different metal types. Here's all the metal we got. Wow! Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, we're going to go back to iron, which is right up here at the top, first one we made. Grab our blueprint. I've already got everything to the left of here mostly, except I don't have this part. So I guess we'll try to grab this thing, which is getting rid of our crushed stone periodically. I guess we'll start it from there. We need also, I think, that pipe right there. Yeah, that looks good. We'll grab all these belts. We want basically half of this. We're using two of these ore processing facilities for our belts, for the pipes, or pipes. No, sorry. Oh, too many words in my brain. For the iron plates. Yeah, the iron plate production. We're only going to use half that, so we want 10 of these guys here, these crystallizers. And then only one of these ore sorting facilities. So we basically want it like right up to that point. Is that everything? Looks good? Yeah. Okay, so we've got this guy coming out here. What we want to do is we don't want those inserters taking the iron ore out. We want to stop at that, but everything else I think looks good. Then just pop right back down here and line up the substations. Okay, we can fix that. Yeah, let's just pop it down. Everything else lines up. We'll have to do a little bit of fiddling, but not too much. So this part right here has to be adjusted. I'm just going to delete this part. Up to that point, we're just going to basically move it one block further over to the right. Let's get rid of that so it doesn't start making stuff just yet. Did it already start? It might have. Did you already start piping stuff through, buddy? Or no, that pipe never got placed down, so it didn't do that. That goes all the way up to here. We're going to have to fix some of these belt stuffs, like, I guess we don't need that. We don't need that. Or maybe we do. Maybe we want it like that. Yeah, okay, that looks good. So we got the crushed stone coming out there, eventually going down to the left. We got our iron ore right there. That's going to produce about 5 to 6 a second, which is more than we need. The one of those iron ores and one of those copper ores produces 10 of those catalyst frames, and we really don't need that many of those catalyst frames. Okay, let's find another spot where we've got this little thing. I'm just going to delete that blueprint. We don't need it anymore. I'm going to grab that much. Don't think we want that pipe. Okay, let's run back down here. And just put it where it fits, basically. Yeah, looks good. Delete that, replace that with a belt, and then we'll grab some water, place some water, put down, just like that, put the ground back in its place. Okay, now let's hook this back up, and just verify that it's working properly. This is about as simple as it gets at this point. Okay, we're not even worried about the geode stuffs. Just going straight from the mineral sludge to the givolite and saphirite ores, which are getting crushed over yonder. And then getting put in here. Oh, and we're already, okay, we're already maxed out here. And then the belt's going to back up. So we're going to do the same thing for the other 3 metal types. And just like that, whammo blammo, everything's been updated and is working. We got the iron ore right here. We got the copper ore right here. Then we got some aluminium ore. And then down here, we have the silver ore, which takes up 3 rows of these guys. And I also had to add in a row for fluorite ore so that we can make the hydrofluoric acid for the gibberellite crystals, and I also had to add in one of these little modules for the hydrofluoric acid to make crotinium crystals. Okay, so all that's done. Now we can move that stuff down the line and use it for catalyst frames, the red ones here, Blop. And the green ones there. And we'll also use some of that iron ore for the ferric chloride solution. All right, let's go back down to the circuit area. We have some stuff to make. We have, I'd laid out the assembly machines we needed to use previously, the numbers anyway, and I've been slowly converting them into actual layouts that make things. Here, let's stop here. The ores are going to arrive on these belts in just a minute. So, yeah, we're converting them to layouts, and it's been fairly straightforward, a lot of it. You put the ingredients in the machine, and out pops the next thing. And really, the petrochemical stuff takes up a lot of space, and it's more complicated. So we had the coal making carbon. That took up a lot of space. We have 100 algae farms here making that. So we've got a few other petrochemical things to make. We need to make plastic for things like the transistors and a few other things. And then to make our circuit board, to make this circuit guy over here, we need a phenolic board, which takes wood and resin. So that's some more petrochemical kind of stuff. So the wood is fairly simple. We're going to use a process we haven't used before, because I think when I first started making this stuff, we didn't have this technology, but now we do. So we're going to make it out of cellulose fiber, which we've been making forever, and cellulose paste. Cellulose paste is the new part that's made out of, bam, cellulose fiber and sodium hydroxide, which you get from salt water right there. So that part's really simple. That's the wood. That just means more green algae farms. Great. Then we need liquid resin. We did this mostly the same thing before when we did science. Or no, I guess just when we wanted plastic for the chemicals, but up above in our old area. So that the liquid resin needs urea gas and formaldehyde. Urea gas is made from ammonia and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide comes from coal, which comes from green algae. Are you noticing the theme? And then in the ammonia, this is one of the areas we need the catalysts. That comes from nitrogen and hydrogen. Nitrogen comes from the air. We've been doing that forever. Hydrogen comes from the water. We've been doing that forever, so that's no big deal. Over here, we are making formaldehyde from methanol. There's the green metal catalyst we need the ore for, the silver and aluminum. Methanol gas. Okay, keep that in your brain. Methanol gas. We're going to need methanol gas. Over here for the plastic, similar to what we did before, made from liquid plastic, which is made from propene. But this time we've got a new tech. We've got a steam cracker we're going to use. And we're going to make it from methanol gas plus steams. Okay, so methanol gas is going to be making plastic and resin. And to get our steam, we're going to use one of these guys. An electric boiler, so we don't have to worry about creating fuel for it. We'll just use electricity from our solar panel grid. That part's no big deal. Okay, so all of that goes to make methanol gas. Can you guess what it takes? Oh, I brought this over. I teched into electrochemical furnace. Will that transfer? Yes, it does. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I can get that blinking light off of there. Okay, let's do this. Wanna do this. Pick that up. Where did it go? It's in here somewhere. There we go. Steel chemical furnace. Bam, it's dead. Bam, it's gone. Kabam. Okay, where was I? Okay, methanol gas. Can you guess what we need to make methanol gas? Cellulose fiber, which comes from green algae. These other layouts will be not nearly as space-consuming, but to make enough methanol gas, we're going to need so much cellulose fiber that we need to add a further close to 200 algae farms. Close to 200. And here is the updated and revised blueprint based on what we did previously. This is going to make our methanol. We're going to put it in a pipe. If that becomes a problem later on, we will convert that over to a barreling pump. Let's see. How are we going to fit this? We need room for the mineralized water. That takes up about that much space. It kind of seems like a bit of a waste of space. There's a bit of a pinch here in the middle where I would like to fit the substations. This thing does not exactly line up in terms of width with the substations, so I think it's best if we do it that way. I guess we'll just have a little bit of extra room up top if we do it like that. Maybe that's all right. So basically, vast majority of this is probably pretty good right here. Vast majority of this is going towards the plastic, and then a bit after that, a little bit of it is going towards the resin. And that is the bulk of the amount of space we'll need. The rest of this stuff won't take up nearly as much space. I've done every single calculation. I know exactly how many machines we're doing for the rest of all the circuit stuff, even the ones we haven't fully researched yet, which we're just going to have placeholders for a little bit. The layout's a little bit different. I made it a bit more compact. The carbon dioxide is completely internalized now. I had to kind of swap things around because we needed to output the cellulose fiber, not the coal. So just for reference, here is the old one right here. So we went cellulose fiber to the bricks to the, cellulose fiber to the pellets, to the bricks, to the coal. And here we're kind of doing a similar thing. All 5 of these guys are going to the cellulose fiber. Then in order to make carbon dioxide to keep this thing running, it goes basically back to the left and all the way to the right to make carbon dioxide. And it won't take much. Well, actually, it will take some. It takes about 2/3 actually, after all, to support itself. But then the rest will go into methanol gas. And we're going to need a lot of that. Yeah, we need about 200 of these. So we're going to make 2 rows of 10. We're going to push them down with these pumps. If that becomes a problem, like I said, we will swap to a barreling pump. Let's see how this works. Oh, it's not quite going to fit. Maybe we need substations Mark 7. So I just never have to worry about power. I got a little bit spoiled playing Factorissimo where there was no power grid inside the factory buildings. Didn't have to worry about power lines. Maybe we'll start on the other side. Yeah, and then we'll have one here. Maybe that's even better. That is a lot of machines. I think in this one episode, we doubled the area of our circuit production area. That's a lot of stuff. Okay, so the last thing to do is all of the algae farms and then to plug the thing in. Make sure it works, the usual routine. Let's put some of this stuff in my car so I can fit the other stuff. Just whatever. Don't need all that stuff. The only thing left are the algae farms. Should be kind of fun because they go plop, plop, plop. Let's see if I can actually... Don't get stuck. Oh, I almost got stuck. Ooh, I'm going to get stuck, actually. I did modify this blueprint just a little bit. I spread them apart so that we could fit them in between and around the substations easier. And I made a modified, smaller little mineralized water guy to fit in between this space right here in the middle. And ended up needing a lot of those things. Okay, we'll put all these down. We'll plug it in. It's all, just don't worry about it. It's going to be a grid. It's going to be a grid. We're going to plug the whole thing. In fact, let's actually plug it in now. So when I get to the other side, we can start seeding it with, with love. I guess. We want one of them. Oh, it's on my bar. I guess it doesn't matter, but sure. Bam! Okay, what did our power consumption go to? It jumped up... Oh, not too much just yet. Okay, because none of these things are doing anything until we give them some coal. All right, and I think the coal guys, they are not linked. I wonder if we ought to link them, because if one of these things fails, then it'll fail independently. The mineralized water is linked. Yeah, that's probably something I need to do. So maybe, okay, let's back up. Let's add just a pipe here, so that these systems are all connected up. And then we can do that kind of thing to get each one going. This works kind of the same as before. We're just a slightly different layout. Okay, give you some coal. About 100. You don't have power, huh? Well, guess what? You get your own substation. There you go. Oh, these guys are linked because I squeezed them together there. The blueprint is not quite the same width or a fraction of the width of the substation spacing. So there's a little bit of irregularity. That's why I modified the blueprint so we could fit it around the substations. All right, I think everything is set up. I connected the pipes horizontally, so each little section isn't totally isolated. So if one of them happens to slow down and I don't know, doesn't make enough carbon dioxide or something and stops making green algae, it should get carbon dioxide from the other guys. We should always have enough. We're not going to be pulling enough of the this stuff out of here to crash the whole system. We don't need nearly this many. Like, if I was really going to optimize the number of machines we had, we wouldn't have nearly this many of these guys making carbon dioxide. So these guys are just going to do a little bit and fill up. For the most part, we are making the methanol gas from cellulose fiber. One of the many multitudinous applications of green algae. This pipe is mostly full. We're using some pumps to push it all the way to the right all the time. And once we're actually making the circuits and the plastic, all that kind of stuff that this stuff is going to be used for, we can come back here and just kind of check on things to make sure everything's working the way that I think it should be working. Does everything have, like, slag? Is all the oxygen, hydrogen getting burnt off? Is it getting processed into crushed stone and mineralized water properly? Is the green algae going to the different machines? All that kind of stuff. It's gonna filter. It should filter down here all the way from the left. Just gonna take a while. You can see we started with just these, and now we're all the way down to here. And as time goes, because we do have mineralized water all the way around, this guy's got just a little bit of carbon dioxide. He's got a little bit more. He's got a little bit more. He's got a little bit more. This should be a positive system. It'll just take a while because each of these algae farms takes 20 seconds to process through. All right, well, after letting it cycle through a little bit, and I fixed one or two minor errors in pipe placement, basically. Seems like everything is up and running. We've got full mineralized water and carbon dioxide and a surplus of green algae in all these machines. So that's good. Our pipes of, what's it called? Methanol gas. Those are all full. Okay, that's good too. So I guess next episode, what we'll do is we're going to make the rest of the circuit stuff, even the ones we haven't researched yet. We're going to lay out the machines because the bulk of the space, and I'm really serious this time, the bulk of the space is now done. We've got the methanol gas, which is going to make our plastic and resin. The wood is going to take some more of these algae plants, but not 200. It's going to be more like 30 or 40. Nothing. No big deal. 30 or 40. 20 maybe even. Then we'll hook all these machines up, and we will move our bus downwards in the upcoming episodes to make the new science area and start researching all the cool stuffs. Yep. Okay, I think that's good for one episode, though. Oh my gosh, that's a mess. But it will be a perfect grid, as you can see from the ones along the edge, which aren't connected to anything. That's going to do it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. See you later, and bye-bye.